So to look at the input function, we are going to use character data. Okay, drag and drop that. So here is the information. So it's a very small file. The purpose is to demonstrate the input function. Okay. So select query builder, data, query builder. So we have these three fields available to us, and let's name this character chart to numeric query. Okay. And the table, we'll name the table chart to num. Now to convert the salary into a numerical value, okay, so we're going now to a new advanced expression, and we're going to use the input. So we can select, it's under special function. So input, all right. So first is source. So go to the tables, and we want to select salary. Okay. Now remember, salary is simply a number. Okay. If you think back, we looked at the data. It did not have a dollar sign or comma or anything like that. The bonus column is the one that had those extra characters. Salary was simply a number, okay, but coming in as a string of characters. So all we have to do here is to specify a width, W dot, that's it, that's your in format. So 10 dot or something like that, so to capture the entire width. So if you use too small a number, then you would know the output will not have the whole column. Then you can go back and modify and increase the width. Okay, validate, and we will call that salary. Okay, and next we're going to look at bonus. Okay. Now again, it's a advanced expression, and special category input. Okay. So now we're going to feed it bonus. Now bonus had the dollar sign and the comma in it, so we can't use just W dot here. So we have to use either dollar $W or comma W, W being a number indicating the width. So I'm going to use comma 12 dot, don't forget the dot. Validate, and bonus. Okay. Now we can change the display format. Again, this is something some of you did not do in the homework. So let's change the display format to currency. Okay. Dollar, I don't know, 12. Let's do the same thing for salary also. Okay, so salary also needs to be dollar format. Okay, so now we will look at converting the last one, which is the higher date and once again input function, and we will give it the higher date. Okay, now higher date we have to give the in format. Okay, a date in format. Okay, yeah, any date in format. So we can, if you remember how the data was, okay, so the data had like the date, month date, and then the month, I mean the month first, month, 2-digit, date, 2-digit, and year was 4 digits, I think the higher date, but we can do this, alright, so DDYY, and then the width 2 to 4 plus 4 8, okay, and then we had slash, like the date was like MM/DD/YYYY, okay, number, say like 01/30/1985 or whatever. So total width was 2 plus 2 4 plus 4 8, and then the 2 slashes, so 10. So we do 10 dot. Okay, if you get this number wrong, you will know that the output is going to be messed up, so you can come back and fix it. Okay, all right, so this is good. So higher date, and let's change the date format to date. Okay, so there is a format called date. That's the most common one. So date W. Okay, so here, this is good. All right, so now we have the converted columns here. Let's run and see what happens. So now you see that the salary again has an output format in dollars, bonus, and then the higher date. Okay, we look at the input. So look at the input here. All three are character input. So this is how the input came for salary. This is how the bonus came in, and this is how the higher dates came in. And they were all characters, which you couldn't do anything with it. So whereas the output data, so you have that.